大家好. So next, let's talk about the movable, fixed, and dual water signs. So let's start with Cancer, which is the changeable water. With Cancer, there's a new feeling because feelings change constantly. And Cancer is actually the most changeable of all the signs because it's also ruled by the moon, which is all about change too. So Cancer is very movable, and therefore Cancer also represents foreign places because that's where we are going to experience the most change, right? Which is in a completely different culture, okay? So change of feelings, the need to change our feelings, all that belongs to Cancer. So why do we actually need to change our feelings? We need to change them so that we can feel good about where we are at, okay? So let's say, you're born and raised in China and you're used to eating certain types of foods, some Chinese food, let's say some type of noodles and hot pot, okay? Then you decided to move to Germany, okay? And all of a sudden you're confronted with some different types of foods, right? In the morning there's bread and jam and muesli, and for lunch there's some type of other strange foods, but you might not be able to fully avoid it because you might also be married to, let's say, a German person, okay? And so what you need to do is then, of course, you need to make some type of adjustments to how you feel about food, right? Otherwise, you're going to have a less enjoyable experience in another country, in this case, in Germany. So you have to change what you feel about eating, right? So that's a simple idea to understand Cancer. As our life changes, or wherever we go, the ability to change our feeling allows us to be content and happy where we are. So let's say with Aries, you get an idea. You want to be someone else, live a different life. You want to do something totally different, right? You want to change your life path. That is all Aries. Aries is the self, and Aries changed, his mind, and now you just think about, oh, maybe I should do something completely different, move somewhere else. So now you decided, let's say, okay, Germany wasn't that great. Let's go back to Asia. Let's move to Thailand this time. So now through Cancer, you can keep up with those changes because your feelings, they are able to catch up to that idea that you can live comfortably in Thailand. Okay? Otherwise, you end up feeling confined and, perhaps alone and even perhaps sad in actually this wonderful country, right? So the feelings need to change through the changing conditions of our life, and that happens through Cancer. Now next, we need to take the change of feeling and turn it into something fixed and stable, right? What are fixed feelings, and what kind of feelings do we want to depend on? Well, the feelings that are good, okay? The feelings that give us security. And Scorpio is where we are consistent and secure in our feelings, right? We feel emotionally secure because we have a healthy feeling that we can depend on. It's not that we are scared and feel unloved and sad, and that's what makes us feel secure. And one of the keywords for fixed signs is security. Leo is the security of the self. Scorpio is our emotional security, right? Just as one of the keywords for the movable signs is inspiration, right? Aries is inspired to do so many things and to express themselves in the world in all sorts of ways. And Cancer is inspired in the heart and connects with the world with a new feeling. Oh, have any feelings as Cancer. And then Scorpio comes along and says, well, I am secure in that feeling, which means that this feeling, is working okay for me, okay? In this world that I'm in, I can have this feeling because I feel secure. And Scorpio is a sign of feeling solid and strong in our heart. And we can also basically protect those feelings because it is ruled by Mars. Now next comes the dual Pisces, which wants to find out more about feelings, right? With Cancer is, oh, I need this, and it seems to always be some new need, right? Because there's always, our feelings and needs always sort of change. And then the person needs to find out, how can I become secure in that feeling? And that is Scorpio. And Pisces is what we learn about our feelings, right? Pisces is a learning sign. The water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they're all concerned about our happiness and our inner world. And people with lots of planets in Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they're more concerned with how things are inside of them, right? Then they are concerned with how things are working outside of them, right? All these practical concerns are secondary to ultimately how they feel about their life. And the fire signs, Aries and Leo, and Sagittarius, they're more concerned with who they can be, as an individual, what they can achieve as an individual. And there might not be, if people have lots of planets in Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, then they might just be much more concerned with their own achievements than, let's say, achieving something together with another person or people. Water signs are about connection. We are connected with the world and other people in our life and feel a certain way about it. Right? Cancer feels, oh, I need to make a connection with this person. And then Scorpio wants to be secure in that connection. Right? And Pisces wants to learn more about how to have a better connection, with this person. The water signs are also called the moksha or spiritual signs in Vedic astrology. What is spirituality? Spirituality allows us to develop an authentic, positive, and loving connection with ourselves and the people in our life. And so Cancer feels that need to develop a deeper connection. Scorpio wants to be secure in that spiritual connection, and Pisces wants to learn so much more about that spiritual connection. And in general, the water signs are about a feeling that arises from a connection. And that connection can be very superficial connection down to a very deep connection. And the well-being of the signs will determine the level of connection and happiness that we are capable of having.